For more than 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter in our community. From our studios in St. Clair, you're watching Focus with Paul Dingeman.
Welcome to another edition of the Focus program. My name is Paul Dingeman. Glad that you are along. We got a really interesting show for you today. Lots of things are happening in St. Clair County, and there's some great concerts coming up, and we want to let you be abreast of all that information, so stay tuned. Mr. Bill Gratopp, St. Clair County Commissioner from District number 7.
Correct,
Welcome
Paul.
back to the Focus set.
Well, thank you very much.
Nice to see you, sir.
Always good to be here, Paul.
Nice to have you in our new studios. Last time we were at the old building, and we have a new fresh digs here, and we're glad that you're one of the first to come along and see it.
Thank you very much. I love your pictures and the setup.
Aren't they great?
Yep.
Nancy Wills, you know her, I know her. She's got a tremendous eye for photography.
She gets that picture just right.
Yeah, she really does. She has
I guess it's a photo.
Yeah, either way. Your district is Marine City and Algonac, right?
And Clay Township.
And Clay.
And Harson's Island and Cotterville and China Township.
There certainly has been nothing going on with water down your way.
Absolutely nothing. I think they shut it off.
How is it?
I'll tell you what, Paul, get your waders and come on down this summer and I'll buy you a popsicle or something somewhere, and we could stand there in the water and eat it together.
It's really amazing to see nature do its thing. You remember and I remember when we would be down by Marine City, just north of Marine City there, and you could see the bottom of the river.
That was
sand.
That was 6 years ago, Paul.
6 years ago.
And if you remember, 6 years ago, Parks and Rec and the Board of Commissioners cut a deal where if you were a municipality and you wanted to pull ahead on your parks money, you could go a year ahead, pull on your money, so you could redo your boat ramp because people were backing down the ramp and dropping off the end. That was 6 years ago.
Absolutely.
And now we're at
amazing.
record highs.
Absolutely
I don't think I've ever seen the water switch so fast.
Yep, amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Amazing.
But we'll deal with it, whatever it takes.
You have a great story for the people in the Downriver area about a new park. What's that all about?
I do. We have been looking for a long time, myself personally for 8 years, Paul. We did find a piece of property about 9 acres. We tried to buy it about 8 years ago. We could not close the deal. We tried again. We could not close the deal. Things just were not working out. And we just stuck with it. Finally, what we did was we kind of backed away from it, and we sent 2 other people in who were like third-party individuals, and they were able to go in and cut a deal, and we walked away with an agreement to buy the 9.2 acres, Paul.
It's across the street from the Kroger development, across the street from Catch 22. In fact, Elizabeth just threw up a picture for us there of the actual spot of it. I told you before we started, I have lunch and dinner once in a while at Catch 22, and I'd walk out and I'd see this big piece of property over there and wonder what's going to happen to that. Well, that's what you've been talking about.
That's exactly what it is. And if you look at the outline of that yellow on there, that is the area that we're talking about. It's about 9.2 acres, Paul. You'll see in the top right there's a squared out area. There's a home there. Go a little further to the right is another home, and then comes down toward the water partway into that triangle, and you will see another home in that area.
So there's like 3 homes.
There are 3.
But it's not on the property that you're looking at.
That is correct. But down the road, if those people decide to vacate, there's a possibility. I'm guessing by looking at this picture, there's probably 3 or 4 acres there. We may be interested at that time.
On the left side of the picture, there's a little, like a lane on the...
A rectangle on the left-hand side. That is correct. That piece of property, we are talking with the owner currently, Paul.
Oh, good.
And he may possibly be interested in getting out of it.
How wide a piece?
I believe.
Round figure.
Yeah, I'm going to say 75 feet wide.
Oh, it's that wide?
Oh, yes. Probably 75 feet wide and probably 400 or 500 feet deep.
So the property to the west of it, where the cement is, that's the regular launch, right?
Yeah, that is what's called
State
the North Channel Access, the DNR launch site, and then so we're sandwiched between that. And then if you look on the right-hand side where you see the blue water area, and that is the Algonac, or part of the Algonac Harbor Club. That's just one small portion of it.
Okay.
So we're looking to pick up that property plus maybe that rectangle if things go right. And then also in the bottom there, you'll see a couple of islands there.
Yep.
There's a possibility that we may be able to pick up a part of one or both of those. It's just in negotiations at this point, but it would give us a total of about 12 acres.
Elizabeth, let's see the next picture. Okay, this is what your plans are. This is a preliminary concept drawing.
Yep, this is a concept drawing that was done back in 2013 when we first talked about it. And you'll see that triangle, or that rectangle on the left is kind of missing. We're talking about adding that in. You'll see that the gray area near the bottom right is kind of grayed out. That's included in our property right now. You'll see like a water indent on the bottom there. It's like a little bay or a little fissure coming in. That's a wetlands area that we can do a couple of things with. If we want to convert it and use it as wetlands, the county has a wetland bank we could trade off, or we could continue to leave it that way, and we could make an area similar to what they have up at the Riverwalk, where they just put in the new county park. And people going there could see the wildlife that would swim and use that area. Possibility also exists that you could make it into a swimming area, and it could be a toddler's area as opposed to going out into the river itself.
Okay. And the next picture is a little more up to date.
Yep, we just did this one about a week ago. I think that came from Pam Blau's organization. And again, you'll see right now the property is pretty much open. There are only about 2 trees on the property, maybe 3. But just like all parks, it will contain pavilions. It will contain picnic tables, barbecues, restrooms, possibly a changing room for people that want to go swimming. Along the right-hand side of that picture, Paul, you'll see water along there. We're going to have a canoe kayak launch in that area.
Oh, beautiful.
It'll be handicap accessible. Now, once you launch your kayak from that area, you can then paddle out into the river, and from there easily reach 2 different blue ways, which are our water trails in St. Clair County. One of them winds through a series of about 4 or 5 different canals inside of Russell Island.
And inside Russell Island,
on the side. And the other one, you can come across and head up into Harson's Island and take the Crispin Drain that we just opened about 5 years ago. That will take you all the way up. It'll take you to the Schoolhouse Grill if you want to stop and take a break. From there, you can go under the highway on a big 12-foot culvert into the DNR property. And then you can head all the way up into the hunting area, as long as it's not hunting season, of course. They'll close it at that time. You have to portage, or portage, as some people may say, portage over one bank, and then once you get over there, you can go almost anywhere you want, including out into Muscatmoot Bay.
Wow.
So it'll be a fantastic trail for people that are ambitious and want to do this stuff. There'll be some fishing piers in that area of some sorts. And we're also, if I can take another minute to explain this, we are also looking to cooperate with the local entities. Now, for example, Clay Township at their last meeting Monday night just committed $200,000 to this project.
Wonderful.
I have a meeting on Monday with some of the key people and with the city of Algonac. We're going to sit down and talk to them, because that water that you see on the right-hand side is the separation between Algonac and Clay. So the people that use this park will be the Algonac and the Clay people. But we also want to reach out further. There's no reason Marine City can't come down, Ira can't come over, or Cotteville or China can't drop down. So we would like to talk to everybody and see what kind of things can we put in there. And I'll tell you, I am looking for anybody who has a really good idea. Now, I have one, and I'm not sure it's going to fly, but I know that these communities do concerts in the park.
Yes.
They do 6 or 5 in Algonac, 5 or 6 in Clay. They're going to do 2 more in Ira this year. Maybe we want to move them to that park and build a band shell.
Oh, that'd be an idea.
Maybe something like that. Somebody had suggested a big screen theater, outdoor theater, where you can come on certain nights of the week and with a family and barbecue and cook and watch a movie and things of that nature. So
lots of possibilities.
Paul, I'm looking for any ideas. If you got them or your viewers have something, please give me a call.
You got a couple pictures you brought along of some gentlemen that are working with you on this. And there's one of the houses you were talking about, but who are you talking to there?
That particular house is not on our property, and if you'll see right behind the gentleman in the green jacket, some water and snow. That's kind of like the property line running up that way. They may come available someday. That's me on the right, in case you don't know
Right.
who I am. And the gentleman I'm talking to, his name is Mike Kelly. He works for the Conservation Company, which is a national organization, and they're into conservation, saving properties, helping people out, things like that. They're actually the money people that we end up going to through a different party.
Be nice to him.
Oh, I'm being very. I even bought him a Coney Island the other day. So.
All right, and the next picture?
That is Chris Bunch, and Chris and I are standing there with the map that you saw earlier, talking about the property that we are on there. Chris is representative from the Six Lakes Land Conservancy. We go through them as a third party. When we want to buy property, DNR will give us a 74-75% grant most of the time if it's on the water.
Yeah.
And we went to Chris and said, we need this. So Chris is handling all of that. They will in turn hold the property for us until we get our grant and then can buy it. But then Chris will go to Mike to get the money. They've got a system all worked out through these conservation groups, and it works very, very well.
Good.
Yep.
Well, it's exciting. It's exciting. When do you think it'll all come together?
Well, I said the other day that I'm not buying my bathing suit for about 2 years, Paul. So if you, by the time, this grant application has to be in on April 1st, probably I'm going to think somewhere around November, maybe December, we will hear. Once we do that, then probably the first part of the year we'll close the deal and get the property back into our name, and then from that point we start moving. But I'm going to say at least 2 years before you'll see much of anything.
Exciting stuff.
It is extremely exciting, Paul. It's 28 miles from my house to the closest county park. We have 9 parks, and it's 28 miles to the closest. That is not right for the people down south. So that's one of the reasons that I've been working so hard, so diligently to get this in place down there.
What else you got on your plate?
Oh my gosh, high water is, we've already talked about that. The Corps of Engineers has made some predictions. They've missed on the good side for us. That is, they said the water would be at a certain level March 1st. It's lower than that.
Good.
So I'm hoping that things will move in the right direction for us to go down that way.
Well, there's certainly enough people involved in watching it and being worried about it.
We have
there's a big meeting
after
the other night in Chesterfield Township. There's a meeting coming up in East China Township. You've had some meetings, and you're staying on top of it for the consumer.
Absolutely. Everybody, I take calls, I take emails, I've visited houses. I have a feeling this year that I'm going to have to buy some higher boots. My knee highs may not work this year. I may have to go to the hip waders. But I'm out there doing what I can do, Paul.
Bill, you always do. You always do. Good.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that.
Come back soon.
Oh, I will.
All righty. I'll be up with our next guest in just a second. Welcome back to the next segment of the Focus program, where we have Mary Beth, nice to see you, from the Michigan Scottish Pipes and Drums, and you're going to perform at the St. Clair Cultural Series as I stumble through this open here. How are you? Welcome.
I'm very well. Thanks, Paul, for having us up here.
Nice to see you. Talk to me about your group. You started in 1980.
That's right. Our group is celebrating our 40th anniversary this year. It was started in 1980 by my dear friend and pipe major, the first pipe major of this group, William O'Donnell. I'm only the second pipe major to take the helm of this band. And it's really quite a testament for a group of volunteer musicians to stay together for that long. We even have a few original members who have been with the band the entire time.
Where are the members from?
We really draw from all over Southeast Michigan. I'm in Grosse Pointe. We have some folks that are up here in nearby Richmond. We go as far over to Ann Arbor. A lot from Oakland County, Macomb County. We're really a full Southeast Michigan band, but we all practice in Detroit.
Couple things. Your concert is going to be on Sunday, March the 29th at the First United Methodist Church. Tickets are available at Port Huron Music Center, St. Clair Art Association, and the church itself. You brought along a little video, and Elizabeth will throw that up. We'll watch it here, and you can sort of describe what's going on and what the group does. There they go.
There we are. This was taken last summer at the St. Andrew's Society of Detroit Highland Games, which is the Detroit area Highland Games. It's always the first Saturday of August. So this is a standard pipe band competition where we march into this circle formation, and you can see the gentleman there in the red kilt, and then the gentleman back there who's got his hands on his ears. Those are the judges who are scoring us on how we're playing with the tune, the tone, and then the ensemble, how well our pipes and drums work together to create a musical creation. This is our march medley.
There comes a judge,
There
right?
comes the other judge. But honestly, when you're playing, you don't see any of that. You're just really focused.
You're concentrating.
We're focused on just putting out a great performance. But this is one of our highlights of our season. It's always great to play for the hometown crowd.
Obviously, people love this instrument, and they really get involved in it. You see people playing the instrument at funerals and wakes and things along those lines. But this is a competition, and this is a little more fun.
Definitely. But I can tell you, it takes a long time for us to get to this point. So everyone in our band, at least all the pipers, we learned through a community education program that was run by my pipe major, Bill O'Donnell. And he used to run that out of Troy Continuing Ed. So we're kind of a unique group that everybody has been taught by the same person, and we are continuing on in that tradition, still carrying that class. So if you, Paul, wanted to learn how to play the bagpipes, you could come and visit us.
Well, you brought one here, and this is not really a big instrument.
No, this is just my little small fireside pipe. So interestingly, bagpipes are really loud, and so a lot of us play these smaller, we call them small pipes, fireside pipes, real pipes. We play these a lot just for indoor entertainment. Practice. I practice this a lot at home. And you're also going to see some of this at the concert on that Sunday. We'll have a small group of pipers that are going to play various instruments, and you will be able to hear a different blend of music too with that, because we can play these in a different key and incorporate other instruments. So it's a whole nother aspect, but it's still very much related and on the same scale. Fingering, it's like if I can play the bagpipe, I can play this. But I think for the concert goers, it's going to be really unusual. Things that they won't have heard before, and it's going to be timely too, because it's just going to be a little bit after St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
We do play some Irish music on these pipes as well. In fact, the piece that you're hearing right there, that's an Irish tune called Mogilly Mare, and that is, you'll hear that sung a lot. So the Irish and the Scottish traditions do have a way of overlapping.
What kinds of music will you be playing at what songs or what will the...
We call them tunes. We'll be playing things such as this, medleys, consisting of marches,
a little bit, okay.
reels. We also have a strathspey, which is a type of music that's really particular to Scotland. It's a type of dance music, so you'll have all those different types of things. We'll have slow airs. Of course, everybody wants to hear Amazing Grace, so that'll be one of our big grand finales. We'll also have a few soloists as well. We have some members in our group who not only are they accomplished on the bagpipes, so you'll hear some different types of what we call the classical bagpipe music, which is called pibroch, which is always played as a soloist. So we'll feature that. And then we also have another gentleman who's an oboist, and he plays with the Ann Arbor and Flint Symphony.
Wow.
He has a day job, but he is such an accomplished musician. He plays bagpipes and oboe and small pipes and all sorts of things. So we're going to feature him with a piano as well. So it's going to be a really great concert.
Paul Schaefer was telling me before we started that the last time this group, came to St. Clair. No, another group, another pipe and drum corps, but not as good as you, came. They had over like 300 people attend. So
we have a lot of friends and family, I think, that will be making the journey to St. Clair. It's really an honor to play a concert.
Sunday, March 29th is the date at First United Methodist Church on 3rd Street. $6 for students, $20 single, $40 for family, and there's an afterglow at the Anchor Point Bistro, which will be pretty spectacular in itself.
It will be, and I think that the musicians will we always get lots of questions about the bagpipes, like how does that work, and can you tell me more about it? And so I think an opportunity for the Afterglow will be a chance for the members of the band and the audience to share more about their love of music.
Got a nice picture of you here with the whole group.
Yeah, that was a great day. We were actually taken in Ohio, and that was the day that we won our competition. And when you win the competition, the big thing is you get to march off the field first. And it is a feeling of, it's like you've won the Olympics.
That's right.
It's really a great feeling. And it makes all the hours of hard practice and work and camaraderie and fun all come together in that one great moment.
And it's a varied age group too.
Yes, we are a family band. We have folks ranging from elementary school. We have a 6th grader up to a gentleman who doesn't want me to tell you how old he is, but
he's mature.
He's mature. He was one of the original founding members of our band.
Right.
And we have mothers and daughters and fathers and daughters and mothers and sons, and so it's really a great family group that we not only do we play together, but it's really like our band family.
The 2020 St. Clair Cultural Series starts March 29th, Michigan Scottish Pipes and Drums, and then following May 17th, there's going to be another group coming to the First United Methodist Church, flute, piano, and soprano, and then on October the 18th, Boys Choir of Ann Arbor. So a great season for, once again, for the St. Clair Cultural Series, Paul Schaefer and his fine committee. Very nice to have met you.
Thanks, Paul.
And thanks very much for coming and bringing the pipes.
I hope to see you maybe at the concert.
We'll be there. Coming up next is Miss Deb Johnson, St. Clair County Community Mental Health, and we'll be right back with Deb in just a second. Well, I promised a young lady by the name of Deborah Johnson, and she showed up.
I did.
Nice to see you. How's piano coming?
It's coming along well. I think I've had 6 lessons now.
Oh, you're going to be at Carnegie Hall any day.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I don't know if my fingers quite work like that.
Wow.
They're kind of short and stubby, but I'm doing my best.
They call you a stubby piano player.
Right.
So you were here a couple of weeks ago. We had you here with Alice Reeves about the open bowl.
Empty bowls.
Empty bowls.
Yep.
Empty, open, empty.
And I don't know when this airs, but that's March 26th, and we still have lots of tickets to sell. I have some in my car, if anybody wants any, and in my house.
Stop driving. You see you're driving by, pull up and say, I want to buy a ticket.
$25 in advance, $30 at the door.
Okay. But what else is happening? You've got a couple of things happening that we talked about, but let's review them.
So we talked about a few things for the month of March. It is it's Intellectual Developmental Disability Awareness Month. It was proclaimed that in 1987 by then President Ronald Reagan. And the purpose of that is to really highlight the abilities and the strengths of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We're both struggling today.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we talked about that, and there's a lot of great things folks are doing, and the biggest message there is look at the strengths and abilities of people instead of the things that they're struggling with, including ourselves. We try to sometimes we're super hard on ourselves.
Oh, and absolutely correct.
We need to think about all the positive things that we've got going on, and then do what we can to work on the things that we need to work on. But besides that, March is also Social Worker Appreciation Month, and I really want to give a plug up for social workers. Not only all of those that work for our agency, we have a lot of them, and they're very, very good in their jobs.
Dedicated people. Very
dedicated. In fact, that even was more evident in the last few days. We just wrapped up our CARF, which is the Council of Rehab Facility, Council on Accreditation of Rehab Facilities. That's our national accreditation that we have to have. And they said so many great things about our staff and about the programs we have and about the organization as a whole. But there seems to be a shortage of social workers, and so we're really trying to get the word out there. We're hiring not just licensed master social workers, but also licensed counselors or master's level, or LLPs, that's a limited licensed psychologist. We'll hire those positions. Because of all the funding that we've received through the that big federal grant that we have, we have expanded our services a lot, and so we need more staff. We've hired probably 35, 40 new staff in the last year and a half, and we have room for more. So
There, you see that the enrollment for people who want to go to become teachers is down. Is it the same in social work?
I don't know, because that's what I asked somebody. I said, do you think they're really putting out less graduates?
Right.
And some people who are MSWs said, I don't think that's the case, but we actually have hired a full-time recruiter, staff recruiter,
Wow.
that is going to be, contacting all the schools that have social work programs, maybe taking visits to those schools, talking to social work classes. We're willing to take students as interns, because at the bachelor's level in social work and master's level, you have to do internships. And so you have to get placed somewhere. We'll take those folks and you assign them to a licensed master's level social worker, and then they can help teach them, guide them, and they'll learn from that experience. And then we hope that they'll love our agency enough to come back and work for us when they graduate.
Yeah.
The other thing we're doing right now for our staff that currently are employed, or if somebody with a bachelor's in social work came to us and got employed, we're offering money to go back to school to get your master's degree with your commitment to continue to work for us. And if you, for some reason, got your master's and quit, you would have to pay us back the money. So, so that's an incentive program for staff. So I think St. Clair County CMH is a great place to work, and a lot of people that work there will tell you that.
You've loved it.
I love it. I've almost been there 32 years. I can't believe it, because I don't really feel much older than, like, maybe, I don't know, 39?
Right,
Something like
absolutely.
that. So yeah, it's a great place to work. So if anybody's interested in learning more about our organization, somebody with any of those degrees, call us up.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got some runs coming up.
We sure do. We have our Run for Recovery. It's every year in May. It's the second Saturday. It's the Run for Recovery, Healthy Minds, Healthy Bodies, because we're always talking about the importance of integrated health care. And that's one of the ways we thought that would be doing some physical thing. Like, and you don't have to run, you can walk, but just get outside, enjoy hopefully the sunny, nice air that day. We were just talking about that. Sometimes we haven't had the best weather for that run.
Right.
But it's not usually freezing or anything, but
Right.
it could be rainy. I don't know. But anyways, that's, you can sign up online for that. It is the second run in the Blue Water Race Series, which you can go to bwrs.nmotive.com to learn about the series and sign up for any of the runs in the series at that site.
And you get a jacket.
And you get a cool jacket
do all of them.
if you do all 6. Yep.
Right.
So that's coming up.
Leprechaun, this show will be on before
The Leprechaun Loop.
Leprechaun Loop.
Leprechaun Loop, and that's a fun one through the YMCA. That is the first one in the series. It's March 14th. You can still sign up for that. You can even sign up the day of, because some people think, oh, I missed it online, it's too late. No, it's not. You can show up at the event. You might not get a shirt, because those are pre-ordered, but sometimes most runs order extras, but when they're gone, they're gone. But at any rate, you can show up the day of that run. You can go online, YMCA's site, you can go to the BWRS site to learn about the YMCA's Leprechaun Loop. So that's a really fun one too. People dress wild with green shamrocks and all kinds of stuff. So it's a fun one. Then go ahead.
No, I was going to say then the Artful Dodgers coming up from here at the Art Association.
Yep,
that's
and
in
that's
June.
So that's a fun run through St. Clair, up and down a big hill.
I think there's one in Algonac too.
Yep, Pickerel Run is July 5th, and then in September is P.S. You're My Hero, and that race moved from November to September. So that'll be nice, because I do that run every year. That's Mara McCallum was Mara Skinner, and she started P.S. You're My Hero to honor her husband, who passed away, who was killed trying to help save her. Remember that story?
No.
In Yale?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So Mara started that to honor her husband. P.S. is Paul Skinner, and but the money, all the proceeds raised from that, are to help support victims of crimes. Because one of the things Mara learned through that whole horrific process is there seemed to be more support and services or resources for the perpetrator as opposed to the victim. And you know, victims of especially violent crimes like that, I mean, you need a lot of support. That's trauma, so you should get some treatment for trauma, mental health treatment. But sometimes people lose their jobs as a result of what has happened, or they're not able to work. I don't mean they don't get fired, they're just not able to work. So they might need funds. So Mara had all the money that she raises goes to support victim rights in St. Clair County, and there is a victim rights, and it's kind of managed through the prosecutor's office. Or maybe I should say it is managed through the prosecutor's office. And they have a victim rights coordinator, a room for victims, all kinds of cool things there. So that's the September run, and then November.
That one's moved.
What?
November's moved to September.
Right, but then there's the Tyler
Oh, yeah,
the
Thanksgiving one. Right.
Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
And it's on Thanksgiving morning. That was a great run. I did that last year, and that's to honor Tyler, who was an avid runner,
Right.
and he died tragically in a car accident, I believe.
Right. Correct.
And so his family put that on to honor him, and so yeah, so kind of my point of sharing a little bit about the runs is they're all good causes, and hopefully people will join us, and in any of them you can walk. You don't have to be a super fast runner, or you don't have to run at all.
Okay.
And then the last thing I'd like to just remind people about, I think last time I might have mentioned our annual recognition meeting has switched from an evening event. It used to be the first Tuesday in May, and now it is going to be the last Friday in May, May 29th, at the Convention Center. It's a breakfast meeting for the community. And then we will honor our Community Service Award recipient, which this year is Michael McCartan.
Yay!
Yay. And then after that, we'll recognize our organization award, which is being given to McLaren Port Huron, Jennifer Montgomery. We've done several good things with them, and they've supported us in several good ways that we'll talk about there. And then Jackie Smith,
Great
Times
journalist.
Herald reporter, yeah.
Great young lady.
She's done a lot of nice stories about us and to help promote our cause and our mission and our vision, so we appreciate that. And then our staff of the year is a woman named Barb Sudamir. She is a nurse. She came to us with about 20 years of psychiatric nursing experience.
Wow.
And she works on our ACT team, and ACT stands for Assertive Community Treatment Team. And there's a team of staff. There's a master's level clinician. There's a peer support specialist, a nurse. There's a coordinator on the team, case management level, a supervisor. And they serve about 70 people in the community who have pretty severe and persistent mental illness, and those folks maybe have difficulty coming in, keeping their appointments. So the ACT team goes to them. They might be taking them their meds. Actually, most of them a lot of them take the meds too. They check on them, make sure things are going okay. Might help them try to get into employment. And
Wonderful work.
Any
Wonderful.
support that they need. And Barb is just a fantastic nurse, and a truly valued member of her ACT team and of our organization. So we're happy to honor her that day. So
Great.
It's going to be fun.
Deb Johnson.
And you're going to be there, right?
Oh, yeah. For breakfast, I'll be there.
All right. So it's going to be a good breakfast. Mike Moretz is cooking.
Oh, well, you can't beat that. He may even have some cheesecake there. He's a cheesecake master.
He might not have that. He is a cheesecake master, but he will have his probably the delicious cinnamon rolls. I don't know.
Deb, I'm gaining weight just thinking of it.
Me too.
Her name is Deb Johnson. She's always bringing a bright light on many, many subjects. We're glad she's here. That's about it for this edition of the Focus program. Thanks very much for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Paul Dingaman. See you soon.
Thanks for watching Focus with Paul Dingaman. Focus is produced at the CTV Community Television Studios in St. Clair. For over 20 years, CTV has captured the moments that matter to our community.